Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 28th of July 2025. So Trump, EU reach tariff deal to avoid a trade war. I think that basically concludes the deal. It's the biggest of all the deals according to Trump there. I think it was 15% on average. From Epstein to exponential debt, signs of a system unraveling. You wouldn't think so looking at the overnight markets. The unraveling isn't coming, it's here. I suppose to an extent I agree with that, but stocks eased back from record high ahead of tariff deadline, which is obviously from Friday, and then Friday's news as well. European bourses pressured, US bid, the dollar bid, and US equity futures mixed into durable goods news. Going back to the deal with the EU, obviously that's given the market something to be optimistic about. The uncertainty is now out of the way. Let's see. 1st of August is D-Day, which obviously is going to be Friday. So let's wait and see. But overnight, the markets are obviously accepting this news as good news, and they've certainly bounced on it. So let's kick off and have a look at the markets and have a look at Fridays and the overnight news, of course, of an EU deal having been made. So as we see here, let's just remove the all-time high because we have a new all-time high in the Dow, which is 45,099. So the market there got a nice gap that needs to be filled though. Let's just have a look overnight and see where this gap is. And there you can see that there's a nice gap there that's got to be filled. The market's got to come back down to Friday's high to fill that. You may get the markets being pumped up now until the cash markets open, and then the gap hopefully will be filled before the market moves around and continues higher. But it begs the question, what is there left for the market to continue to make new all-time highs now the trade deals are more or less done? Well, that depends on Friday, doesn't it? And also, if we just go back to the news, we've got this week, we've got the FOMC meeting minutes and press conference, and rates are to remain unchanged according to the Forex Factory website. That's the big one this week, unless we've got any sort of CPI numbers from the US. Can't see any there at the moment, so that's going to be next week, I suspect. Actually, we've got two big ones this week. We've got ADP as well on Wednesday. If we've got ADP, that means we've got the non-farm payroll. So big week for the markets this week. And again, the most important one, though, is going to be whether Powell actually cuts rates and then the consequences of him not cutting rates. So this is going to have an impact, but at the moment, the markets are loving it. They're moving to the upside. They've all gapped up. Well, US markets have gapped up, and obviously happy with the trade deal at the moment. But let's see how that pans out going forward. So look at the German DAX. And in the German DAX, this too is moving high. It's also gapped higher as well. So look at the 30-minute chart, and you'll see there's a small gap there as well overnight as the DAX now starts to pile on the points. We go back to the daily chart. Let's have a look. We're still not back at the all-time high of 24,644, but heading in this direction. So again, let's just see what happens when the cash markets open at 8 a.m. S&P, well, it just continues, doesn't it? It's utter madness and nonsense, but we're now at 6420, the all-time high once again. Got a gap up. Is this a gap up to actually suck people in and then drop the market on them? We'll just have to wait and see. But there's a big gap in the S&P 500 from Friday, but it's still at the moment heading to the upside. The FT 100, exactly the same. This is made a new all-time high, 9171. Like I say, these markets are vertical at the moment. They're not sustainable. And the 30-minute chart also there, just a tiny gap for the market moving higher, and then stuck in a sideways range there at the R1 at the moment. So stuck at the R1 for the FT 100. So have a look at the US dollar's reaction to all of this. And as you would expect, this moving to the upside there. You can see there it's been moving up for the last 3 days. Expect a bit more strength in this one and a bit more weakness in the metals, which we saw on Friday. So let's have a look at those. And starting off with silver, Smackdown Friday turned up with some sort of a vengeance there, and you can see there, the market finding a bit of support overnight. But on Friday they couldn't help it. As I said to you before, they've got to get this price down if they can, just to cover some of those, get out of some of those short positions. And the market currently trading at Friday's close. I expect a bit more weakness on this. They'll use it, whatever opportunity they've got. To be honest with you, I'm surprised that we haven't got this on the overnight market. So to be honest with you, I thought they would have really moved the market to the downside. So there's a clue there that this was just a shakeout on Friday as far as silver is concerned. And it looks like we could actually start to move back to the upside if we get a bit of dollar weakness there as well. Meanwhile, in gold, too, the same picture, being smacked down to the 50-bar moving average in the daily chart, and in the 30-minute chart coming off the low of Friday there as well. You can see the volume there and prices moving back to the upside. So let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio's reaction to all of this. And there we see Friday moving up, obviously, because of the smackdown in the silver price there. And overnight prices are sideways to lower for the gold-silver ratio there. So a bit of a pullback in the gold-silver ratio there. We want this to move down to support the price of silver. We want this trend to continue to the downside there. It's way too high at the moment, but like I say, it's still under control. Right, let's have a look at Friday's trades. So in the pre-market session, the market moving down, then finding support, and then we kick off with more selling coming into the market. So we've already taken out the low. I mentioned this in Friday's market alert about the low being tested in the pre-market session, which it was. It started to hold, but then when the cash market opened, prices moved sharply lower there. We had a potential buy signal that was filled, and then the market just traded sideways. Again, you can see how sideways this market was. It was already a precursor to what to expect, waiting for this EU deal with Trump, and the market then stuck in that sideways move, creating two small losses there, as the market then decided after 10 a.m. to move back to the upside to the 200 MA. And then in the afternoon, we headed over to the US. You can see news there of a potential trade deal coming out, rumours, and then the market putting in a potential buy, and then the market maintaining that direction for the duration following the US markets to the upside. Just have a look and see what's happening overnight in a bit more detail in the 2-minute chart. And there we see prices currently moving to the upside, already through the R2. We've got the R3 a long way away there. Well, it's not that long actually, or that far, because it's about 150 points there, which is small fry these days in these markets. So the German DAX trading quite nicely there at the moment, way above Friday's high, which you'd expect given the news that was released overnight. Where is the high? Down there at 24,320, and like I say, continuing to move to the upside at the moment. Right, that gives a quick roundup of where we are overnight and what to look forward to this week. Today, well, the markets have gapped up. We'll see if they can hold to the upside at the moment. When the market opens, I should imagine there'll be a bit of a spurt to the upside, and then the reality of a 15% tax and tariff will start to kick in, and that's going to come into the markets going forward as well. And then the tune may be changed with regards to these all-time highs. I think they've just used this news and this opportunity to pump the markets more to the upside, which is patently obvious there as well. Right, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.